7 o'clock, and I would like to call the caucus meeting of the city of Twinsburg to order. It's Tuesday, September 14th. Shannon, you call roll.
Mr. Scafidi?
Here.
Mr. Fury?
Here.
Mrs. Walker?
Present.
Mr. Bellin?
Here.
Mrs. Labby? Here. Mr. Barr?
Here.
Mrs. Stauffer?
Here.
I believe there's no presentations this evening, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Anybody have anything to discuss, Mayor?
Yes, I do. I asked Jen to come in for this. So we have to figure out what we're doing with Christmas lights. We talked about purchasing. It was budgeted for last year. From a timing standpoint, the lead time was so far out that those are not going to be in if we do order them. So I just wanted to give everyone's okay that we're going to move forward with another year rental, similar to what we did last year, which was a much scaled down version. We're going to limit some of the trees in terms of what we're purchasing, but I don't know if there's anything that I'm saying that is different than what we're planning. I just wanted to make sure council understood that as we start moving into the season, because we have to let Rock the House know pretty quickly if we want to get on their schedule.
How much was that again, the rental? Do we know?
Between $4,000 and $5,000, I think, for the rental of the lights.
Oh, that was it? Sounds cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
$4,375.
Yeah.
4,300?
4,375.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this year then we're gonna do the, similar to last year, the 4,300, and then is the idea then we're gonna revisit purchasing?
It's up, yeah, I mean, the lighting that we looked at would be a permanent lighting of City Hall,
Right.
which we don't have out front, and we would
Okay.
be able to then modify that light program, those lights, program them. Those would be
Right.
LEDs that could change for, say, Josh's Memorial. You could have the
Right.
City Hall all blue. You could, there's different things you could do throughout the year that could light up City Hall, but that would be the discussion. But I just kind of wanted to get an immediate response that we're going to move forward with kind of a similar scaled down version we had last year and make sure we have lights at City Hall.
That's fine for me.
I'm okay with
That
it.
sounds good to me.
The permanent uplighting is in the budget approved for this year.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been done.
John.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll let them know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jen.
That it?
That was
Okay.
it for, yeah.
Okay. Audience participation.
First, we have Bob Hughes.
Good evening, Council. Bob Thews, 2229 Demi Drive in Twinsburg, Ohio, in the Meadowwood Plan. Good evening to all. It's been a while. It's been a stretch, okay, since we've seen each other. I'm a member of a seniors golf league on Wednesday morning at the Twinsburg Glen Eagles, of course. We have a nice size league with about 43, 44 people. We have 2 events a year that require food, okay, from that standpoint. We had one at the beginning or at the middle of the year and one at the end of the year. The one at the middle of the year, of course, with the requirements with using the pavilion, you have to use a certain restaurant, and that restaurant was nice enough to charge us about $7 to $8 per person more than we were charged ever before, okay, from that standpoint. So, and then outside of that, they were nice enough to provide less food than we've ever had at one of these events. This coming event, the second event of the year, is not going to be held at the Glen Eagles course. It'll be held at Grantwood. Grantwood has the same situation as Twinsburg has, in the aspect that they have a pavilion. We're using this their pavilion, okay. However, they allow us to bring in food. So what it looks like, well, of course, it'll definitely be the end of September. The golf course will lose about $1,200 in income for that particular event. Okay, from that standpoint, a little over $1,200 with the cost of beer and a setup and stuff like that. And there's no intent for them to ever use the existing facilities at Twinsburg again for this. So it essentially means that the city has given up about $2,500 a year in income, okay, from the standpoint of just our lake. Now, our lake talks to other lakes, okay, from that point. My intent and my belief is hopefully that there is not a total loss and people decide that it just isn't worth it staying at the Glen Eagles if they're not gonna work with us. So just to let you know, okay, from that standpoint, just saying what's happening. It's, you know, because of an agreement you have with Burntwood Taverns, we can't have a regular meal there, so we go elsewhere. And hopefully we don't, the whole golf lake doesn't go elsewhere. That's all I'm saying. So that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob.
Next, we have Kristina Hill.
Hello, my name is Kristina Hill. I live at 1996 Eaton Street in the Twinsburg Heights neighborhood. I am here to present the residents of Twinsburg Heights concerns to the city of Twinsburg regarding the Guyer Run property located between Hatton Road and Interstate 480. Approximately 40% of that property is Twinsburg Township property, and the other 60% that borders Interstate 480 is city property. Dr. Guyeron, to give you a brief history, purchased the Twinsburg Twinsburg Township property back in the early 2000s with the goal of building a lifestyle center. He bought out residents, tore down their homes, and then the financial crisis hit in 2008. As a result of that, lifestyle centers were failing, and Dr. Guyeron could not use the property for his intended purpose. Since then, our understanding is that they are attempting to come up with options on what to do with the Guyeron property, which is currently zoned mixed industrial. Dr. Guyeron would like to change the zoning to industrial, and from our perspective has threatened to work with the city of Twinsburg to annex the Twinsburg Township portion of his property in order to be able to get that industrial zoning designation. We, the residents of Twinsburg Heights, feel that, or are petitioning, I should say, Twinsburg City Council to reject the annexation. The property that's located in Twinsburg City, we do not believe is buildable. There are canyons, it's sloped, there's a lot of issues with that property. The improved property is the property that's in Twinsburg Township. And so we want to be able to determine, as residents of the Heights, what should be done with that property. And we don't want it changed to industrial, and obviously we don't want it changed to or annexed to the city. We know you have a choice in this. We have additional information that we can share with you at a later date in written format, so you can read through our list of concerns and some options that we have. I understand that Mayor Yates, he already has been speaking with Twinsburg Township officials, but we as residents wanted to express to the City Council ourselves our concerns and hopefully to get your support to not approve an annexation request if it comes before you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's all we have this evening.
That's all? Okay, next we'll move on to pending legislation. We have Resolution 64, 2021. This is a resolution for conditional use permit for a religious institution at 9445 Vale Drive. This is for Twinsburg Shabbat. At the August 16th meeting, the Planning Commission favorably recommended it to Council for approval. This property is also subject to PUD C2 zoning. Mr. Barr, I know you were there. Do you have any comments you'd like to add?
The intent of the use is primarily not during normal business hours. They're looking to use the facility to hold special events and other small religious gatherings. Shouldn't have any impact on parking or the surrounding businesses. And the building owner was there in addition to the members of Planning Commission, and everyone seemed supportive of the Shabbat being able to use the facility. So, yeah, that was,
No issues from surrounding residents or businesses or anything?
no, so it's actually off of Vale Drive
Okay.
over by like the Twinsburg Vet Hospital.
Oh, okay,
All that
yeah,
area
okay,
over there.
I got,
So
okay.
especially because the primary use, and I think they can only put about 60 people in that space, if memory serves correctly. It is not a church or a congregation. They're just looking to have community outreach events for
Okay.
the members of their Shabbat at that location. And again, primarily those will be during non-peak business hours.
Okay.
It'll be weekends, evenings, things of that nature.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else on council? Any questions or discussion? Okay, we have ordinance 65, 2021. This is an ordinance to clarify 111.05, section 111.05, regarding council representatives, specifically as stated, each council position shall serve, if so desired, but shall not be elected to the position of president more than once in 4 years. Should the vice president of council assume the role of president due to a vacancy, he or she shall not be prohibited from serving as president the following year if so elected. This we talked about at the last meeting 2 weeks ago, and so this is what we had asked the law director to put into this ordinance. So, anybody have any questions or discussion?
No, it's exactly what we need to do to move forward. Thank you.
Okay.
I know.
Next, we'll move on to Resolution 66, 2021. This is a resolution is to accept the assistance to the firefighters grant from FEMA. The total grant is for $107,500, and the city's portion is $9,772.73. This is for a power lift system and a cot at $26,000, 3 thermal imaging cameras at $24,000, and 4 vehicle exhaust drops and system as at fire station 2 at $56,000. Anybody have any questions or need further information? The chief is here. If anybody wants to hear from him. Sounds pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next we have Resolution 67, 2021. This resolution is also to accept a grant from FEMA under the Fire Prevention and Safety Grant. The total grant is for $8,750, with the city's portion being $416.67. This grant is for 50 residential knockbox units for the fire departments. It'll be added to their existing program.
I have a question on that.
Yes.
Who are these knock boxes designated to go to?
I'll answer as somebody gets up there.
Okay, Bruce, take your time.
Those Knox boxes are normally used for our senior citizens.
Okay.
We do a little evaluation on their financial need
Mm-hmm.
in those cases, but we essentially make them available, but they also charge a rental fee for each unit.
Is there an application
There's
that
an
they fill out?
application, well, really, you're just put on a list.
Right.
At the fire department.
Mhm.
And we already have about 50 of them out in the community, and we currently have a waiting list. So we'll just add some more Knox boxes to that system. That makes it easy for us to make entry into senior citizens' homes
Right.
without damaging doors or windows or things of that nature.
Does it ever go to like a handicapped person who wasn't a
That would
senior?
certainly be, certainly fit into what we're trying to accomplish.
Mhm.
Just making easier access for us when there's a need.
Do businesses have these?
The businesses
Yeah.
have these, I believe back in the mid-90s, there was a city ordinance passed that any new businesses built after that time had to have a Knox box installed in the building. So we have good coverage throughout the city. The township is also pursuing that as well. We do have some legacy structures in the city that haven't had them in the past, and we're slowly working on bringing them up to speed, although they're not required because they were built before the resolution was, or the policy was passed back in the 90s. But we do have pretty good coverage of the Knox box system throughout the community.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions here? If there's none, at this time I'd like to give a special shout out of thanks to Assistant Chief Basso for applying for both of those grants on behalf of the department. From what I understand, I believe this puts him over the $1 million mark for grants that he has obtained in his career. So great job, Assistant Chief Basso, and thank you for doing that for us as well. Next we have Ordinance 68, 2021. This ordinance is to approve the construction agreement for a water line extension located at 9802 Chamberlain Road. Council had previously approved the contract in 2019 for this parcel, but the property has now changed to new owners. This will have the same terms as the first, and there should be no cost to the city at this time. Any discussion? We're good. Okay, next we have Resolution 69, 2021. This resolution is for the final approval for ODOT to perform work in the city limits for resurfacing at I-480 and 91. The city's share of funding is $67,137. This project also includes paving of 700 feet on Route 91 on both ways of the freeway. So it'll be north and south of the freeway, 700 feet each way. So it's on that road as well. Anybody have any discussion or questions? I think we've talked about this too. Next we have Resolution 70, 2021. This is to authorize the city to submit an application to OPWC for the Ravenna Road sanitary sewer. This will be for a grant and or loan funding. The estimated project will be $516,560, with the city's portion being approximately around $258,280. This project needs to be completed before the next resurfacing, which may be added to the project at 100% of the city's cost. Question? Okay. Resolution 71, 2021. This is again to authorize the city to submit an application to OPWC, but this application is for Ethan's Greens, the sewer outfall lining project. The estimated project will be $550,000, with the city's portion being $250,000. With asking for that amount, this way the scoring is for this is the best amount to ask for on the competitive application. Did I say that correct, Amy? Okay. I think we get like 10 more points for that. We would have lost 10 points, I think. Okay. Questions? Anybody have questions? Okay. Resolution 72, 2021. This is to accept the amounts and rates provided by Summit County for tax year 2021 with collection in 2022 tax levies. The new police and fire levy of 2.4 mils is included, and the park debt is no longer listed. That came off. Well, that'll come off. Questions there? Okay. Ordinance 73, 2021. This is to establish the fund for the Federal American Rescue Plan Act, also known as the ARPA funding. The reason for the emergency is to get the fund set up to record transactions as soon as possible. If we all remember from the last Finance Committee meeting, I believe we had already received some money, just under $1 million, right, Sarah? Okay. So we need to set that up, and that goes in with the next one, 74. Anybody have any questions on 73? Okay, Ordinance 74, 2021. This ordinance is to appropriate the initial budget for the new special revenue fund set up by Ordinance 73, 2021. Again, the reason for the emergency is to fund this account as soon as possible to record the transaction from the ARPA Local Fiscal Recovery Fund. Questions there? Okay. Next is Ordinance 75, 2021. This is to amend the appropriations for the two technology projects for City Hall. The first project is for the council chambers technology upgrades at a cost of $30,000, and the other is for the electric sign to replace the current marquee in front of City Hall. The cost of that is $35,000 for a total appropriation amendment of $65,000. Reason for the emergency is to get this project started as soon as possible. Anybody have any questions or comments on that? Yeah, we talked about that too.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, the miscellaneous. Anybody have any miscellaneous they'd like to discuss in the caucus?
No, sir.
Mr. Maester.
Mr. Scafidi, I just want one item. You're going to have at council tonight, I believe, a motion for a liquor license permit.
Yeah, I had that
renewal. We also have, I just want to bring council's attention, we had another one that came through that at initial reaction, we weren't completely comfortable with, so we've asked the state to conduct an investigation into that one, and in order to do that, we asked for a 30-day extension before council had to respond one way or another. So we're going to be bringing that to you, but that would have been brought tonight, but we want to wait on that till we get the state investigation. As soon as we get that, we'll get it to council. So just heads up, that one's coming, but it's technically pending. So great.
Thank you. Yeah, the one he was talking about first was the for Cracker Barrel. That'll be what we
as a renewal
on that tonight.
Just as a renewal.
Pardon me.
As a renewal.
No, I think
That's
this is for
one.
That's a new one?
For wine and mixed beverages, yeah, on the premises.
Okay.
Yes, like that coffee.
Anything else under that? Okay, hearing nothing else at this time, caucus is adjourned. We will start the council meeting at 7:30. Anybody wishing to speak at the council meeting, please come up and sign up, and we'll start in less than 10 minutes.